Hi, this is Uncle Jesse McNasty with Roller Girl Skates, and I'm going to walk everyone through how to mount a plate to a boot today. Pretty simple process. There aren't any videos on it, so we're going to do it, and we're going to show everyone how. What we have here in our tools, we have a Snyder marking tool right here, which a lot of people see these in rings, don't know what they're for, and we'll show you. All of our mounting kit, which is our bolts and our nuts. This is to put the nuts on. This is to break the bolts off. And obviously a pin and a screwdriver, and it's pretty self-explanatory. So what we're going to do is take the boot. In this case, we're going to have an MG2. You're going to want to rest the heel towards the point and then kink it to where the boot fits snugly within the tool. You notice that the center bar is offset on both sides, which allows you to come in and mark along that edge and get you a center line for this boot. Once you've done that, take one of your plates, in this case a Pilot Falcon. You're going to make sure that you get it nice and centered along with that line. It's harder to see on a black sole, but if you do it in pen, you can see it pretty well. Normally on another sole, if it's lighter, you do it in pencil, that way you can fix any corrections you may have to make. Once you've got it where you want to hold it very firm and don't let it move around like it just did. Once you've got it where you want it, take your pen again, mark all your holes, and then you can put your plate away. After you've marked your holes, I highly recommend taking a Phillips head screwdriver, very thin, and make an impression in each of these markings. This will be important when you drill, so that when you take the drill to the sole, the drill bit doesn't slide all around and scuff up the bottom of your boot, or possibly drill in the wrong place, which makes it a lot harder to get a plate on. Pretty simple. Now we drill. When you drill, always make sure that you don't have the insole inside the boot first. You're only going to make that mistake once, but the first time you do, it's going to be costly. I personally find it's easier to leave the drill stationary and move the boot. Definitely helps you get a better feel for what's going on, and you can stop in case you go into the tongue or the side of the boot. You can stop yourself from drilling a lot faster. The short stem bolts go in the front of the skate, obviously because the heel is almost always taller in a boot. So you use the long stem there. That becomes quite important when you come later on. A lot of soles are going to be difficult to push through because you don't want the hole to be too big on your drill bit, so you don't want your plate sliding around. So you want that snug feel. You want it to be difficult to push the bolts through the sole of the boot. If they are, you know you've got it right. Just in case you have some difficulty, I recommend you get the same tool that you would use to put the bolt in, but a larger size. Go over the top of your bolt and just push down from straight on top. And that'll give you the purchase you need to get that bolt in there. Just make sure you don't bend them while you do it. So now, we are in fact ready to put our plate on. If everything works right, which is real nice with these slide grooves, Everything will fit nice and snug on there with no problems. Some plates don't have the slide grooves like this one, and you have to be right on with your holes, because if they're not right on and your posts are a little bit off, they're not all going to want to fit. But in this case, we're right the first time. Washers aren't necessary. You don't have to have them. But in this case, here at Roller Girl Skates, we want to make sure that the customer's product is taken care of and we're not going to scuff up their plate with these bolts. Then you want to make sure that you get all of your bolts on there. Just a little bit, you don't need to go all the way down. So they're really tiny with my huge mittens here. That's as far as you need to go for right now. The pretty standard method of doing this yourself would be to get one of these wrenches. They have a hole down the middle of the shaft that the post can go inside of. On a boot like this with a smaller heel, it'll fit all the way inside, but eventually when you get to the bottom, a little bit's going to be sticking out. So you're going to have to cut some of that bolt off, tighten it all the way down, and then go back to the process. So all you do is you tighten it on. When we start feeling resistance, it is not necessary to put a flathead screwdriver in the top of one of these bolts. The actual resistance of the sole itself and the inside will do that for you. So you don't need to scuff it up and scar the inside of your bolt. Now it's important when you're tightening this, you don't go too tight. What you want to achieve is to get flush with the inside of the sole. You do not want it to depress, you do not want it sticking up. If there's a depression, your skin will fill that depression, it will cause a blister. If it's sticking up, it will dig into your skin, tear through your sock if you're wearing one, and it will again cause a blister or worse. So go through that one more time on this one. Starting to feel some resistance. I just have my thumb on the top of it so that I can feel both the top of the bolt and the skate around it. And I'm just going to go until I feel that it's flush with everything else. I'm pretty satisfied with that. So if you see in there, those are both just flush with the skate. They shouldn't have any problem with the foot. Now if you're in a hurry, or you're doing a whole lot, you can take the faster method. But it's still important that you feel that skate as often as you can. Don't go all the way in your first time. Feel it a little bit, and then kind of go a little bit more. Because with the drill, it's real easy to go too far. Okay, and now that's what it looks like on the inside. It's still going to have these bolts sticking up, and we got to do something with those. The preferred tool for this, some of you may see one of these around, they just have a hole in and a grip on the other end. They are specifically designed to fit on top of this bolt, go forward once, forward back, and then go back and it's done. Comes right off. If you don't have one of these, you can take this tool that you just used, put it on top, go forward, go back, and you're done. This is better though. But if you don't have one, you can always use that tool. And don't get crazy with it. If you go too hard, especially if the trucks are on the plate while you're doing it, I've been known to smash a pinky a few times. And so, there we now have an MG2 Antic on a Pilot Falcon plate. Mount it up, about 5 minutes time. Takes no problem. And that's all. If you have any questions or if you're mounting your own plate, you can always ask us at rollergirlskates.com. Ask us, call us, send us an email, and we'll help you out and get you all mounted up. You guys have a great time.